Hey folks, it's Jim. I'm going to start kind of a series that I'm doing that now. I think there's enough evidence out there that you can all go gather it. So I feel comfortable now sharing this experience. I shared it a long time ago that I wasn't taking food and wasn't going to eat in the first 1 to 2 days in bug out, and there were reasons for that. But I realized from that most people are carbohydrate addicts and don't understand a state of ketosis, okay? Which is the true primal existence of all of our kind of nature, okay? When we enter into a state of ketosis, we are the most efficient primal being we'll ever be. So in a state of survival, that's probably how we might want to be. Now let's get into my day. And now I'm going to explain this the best that I can. Here is my breakfast: water and a cup of black organic coffee. I finished my first bottle of water, and I pour my coffee, and then I do my hygiene and stuff like that, and then I come back and I drink my organic coffee, which is extremely low caffeine, by the way, water washed, not chemically cleansed, but water washed, low caffeine, 100% organic coffee, which is loaded with antioxidants, I might add, the good stuff, good organic coffee, right? So then I grab another fresh bottle of water, put it on my bike, and I go for my 15-mile bike ride with no nutrition. And that sends me into a state of ketosis almost instantly. About when I drink my black cup of coffee triggers ketosis for me. In other words, all the glycogen in my body is gone, and now we're converting fat to ketones, and now I'm in perfect metabolic state for exercise, which seems odd, doesn't it? Huh. We don't want to operate on glycogen, we want to operate on ketones. Well, for me, yes. Now, 35 years ago, I discovered this as a young person in the Marine Corps. You go on a 3-day mission, there's no way you could pack your rucksack or your pack full of enough food to eat like a normal person for 3 days and have any room left in your pack for mission essential gear, right? So we learned we were going to have to do, back then we were under General Gray, and his motto was, the Marine Corps will do more with less. So we learned we were going to have to do more with less in every facet of our life. And I learned too, because those MREs were just not that great back then, that if you got slightly dehydrated, which you will in many times, and you tried to eat one of those things, you were going to get blocked up possibly and wind up with severe intestinal cramping. And a lot of people discovered that the hard way. So I learned right away, don't eat. I don't want to eat for the first 1 or 2 days. I just want to go. And I want to be lighter, faster, stronger, and more alert when I do it. What you say? How am I doing that? Why aren't I going into lethargy? Why aren't I, crashing? How come I could do that? What made it possible to do that? Well, I'm going to explain something to you. These are the 3 main effects of what ketosis does. And finally, science is just now sharing it with you, and you can go out on YouTube and find 100, if not 1,000 doctors to repeat what I'm telling you today. So hopefully you will, when you begin to do your homework. Okay? The first thing that happens is once we go into a state of ketosis, neurogenesis takes place. What is neurogenesis? It is the rejuvenation of brain cells, making new brain cells. They thought for the longest time the brain did not rejuvenate itself, right? No way, the brain can't rebuild. What they're finding is it can't when it's laden with crap, right? But when we go into a state of ketosis, the natural state of our primal existence, right, not eating all the time, ketosis, which every creation probably goes into daily, but not the human, we need to eat all the time, right? So neurogenesis takes place. New brain cells start to erupt and be created at a high rate, very high rate. And then something even more magnificent was happening to us, synaptogenesis, which means the nerve cells that we have all of a sudden start sharing information much faster, right? So now our neurosynapsis is accelerated. That's how we were getting faster, more alert, keener senses, everything. Everything was on high. That's why we were actually entering into our primal self, right? Survival, right? Then something else magnificent happens. Now you're pushing yourself in this state, no nutrition, Now something else happens that the body triggers in this magnificent metabolic state. It accelerates HGH production. It goes way up 5 to 10 times when challenged in a state of ketosis. And HGH is human growth hormone. Combined with omega-3s, the rejuvenative property of the body, right? So now we weren't hurting, right? We weren't getting inflamed, and we weren't getting tired. How is this happening without food? Are you kidding me? That's crazy, isn't it? But yet it was real. So that goes back to my other video where I said I'm not eating for the first 1 or 2 days out there. There's a reason why. I've done this for 30 plus years. That's why you see my weight go up and down if you've watched my videos. There's a reason for that. My body knows, and I know, to nourish it, lots of food if I'm going to be out in the field a week. I need lots of food because I don't want to be eating out there a bunch of crap. I want to be getting it done, right? I'm doing what I need to do. So as long as I have fat cells, my body can turn into ketones, which is pure, perfect energy. And in that state, my body operates at its nominal level and performs very well. Now, if you're a carb addict, you just probably thought I was crazy, but I want you to go do your homework. If you're a carb addict, you're headed for a lot of long-term chronic illness as well. I might add this to you. If you're a Christian, what did Jesus talk about? Prayer and fasting were synonymous, weren't they? So he talked about fasting quite a lot, didn't he? How about the Buddha? The Buddha fasted so long one time he almost died. So even though we have a vision of Buddha as a plump being, he actually almost fasted one time on his enlightenment trail, almost to the point of death. It was actually very gross and described by those who were there. Okay, so the idea that we need food all the time is crazy, and I've already told you about my experience with my meditation after riding. It is awesome, much better than had I eaten a meal or anything like that. Okay, so the next thing is, how do you want to bug out? Do you want to bug out in a lethargic state, where your intestines processing food and being weighed down, or do you want to bug out in the optimal primal state for survival? Also, the energy of ketosis, ketones, is smooth, constant, right, once we go into ketosis. What do carbs do? Up and then down, up and then down, up and then down. Is that the way you want to try to perform? Think about it, just from a logical perspective, right, rationally. Ketones, smooth, your body's just creating what you need, right? And you're going. Now, if you haven't done it before, like I said, it's going to take time for you to finally get and to feel what I'm expressing here to you today. But I strongly suggest that you get your doctor or your advisors or whoever they are. I am not them. I'm not telling you what to do, all right? I'm simply stating my experience, all right? And you need advice if you're a carb addict to actually start entering in and out of ketosis, or what is called intermittent fasting. You also need to nourish your body properly so that it can create a good, healthy response once you're into ketosis, right? And this is not diabetic ketosis. This is healthy, normal, natural ketosis that the human body should be experiencing on a daily basis. The problem is we eat too much. That's why we're obese, diabetic, and ridden with arthritis. We eat too much and we never go keto, and that's part of the problem, okay? Now, I hope this has made sense to you. But something else magnificent happens, right, is the HGH goes way, way up. And isn't that fascinating? That's how we were stronger and more explosive, faster. That's why. We were like an athlete shooting dope. That's what happens. Now, this is all the neurogenesis, synaptogenesis, HGH, all this is a response to the state of ketosis, folks. Okay? Now they're proving it. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, neurologists and endocrinologists are like, whoa, wow, finally they're getting it, right? That we are animals. So anyway, if you don't know a lot about natural health, Dr. Bergman is a good place to start. If you're interested in keto, Dr. Mike is keto every day, intermittent fasting, which is what I do. I don't eat for 16 to 18 hours every day. That gives me 4 to 6 to 10 hours of ketosis daily, okay? And Dr. Mike's very close to what I do, but he puts butter in his coffee. I don't want any nutrition for my morning. I want to be pure keto and bam, that fast keto. Bang. I want to be living on ketones immediately because it's just glorious. But anyway, Dr. Fung, if you're diabetic or a carb addict, he will explain what fasting does and how it can possibly, for you, reverse your diabetes too and take you back to not being insulin resistant anymore. And then your body can reach its nominal homeostasis once again, and ketosis will be a natural state for you as well. But we can't do it if your body metabolic systems are messed up right now. You can't possibly do this. But it is the way to be, but it also ought to be a warning signal that if you can't go a day or two without food, you're already in trouble. You've already got major health problems, and that your metabolic systems are not functioning properly. And this is going to lead to long-term chronic illness, right? So, and there are those of you who may never be able to do this due to serious health challenge such as diabetes 1 and so forth, okay? But most diabetes 2, they're finding, can be reversed completely. Simply have to change the way you're living, and it requires maybe some intermittent fasting, right? Who said this? All the wisest people who've ever walked the earth, and those whom Christians call God. Boy said a lot of fasting, didn't he? Right? So there might be something to this keto way, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. I'm a prepper channel, and this, I believe, is the nominal prepper way to be. Intermittent fasting constantly, so you don't worry about food. Food is everywhere. Once your neurosynapses and your neurogenesis goes up, you will see it instantly as soon as you walk into the woods or the jungle. You will see food everywhere. You won't even fear it for a moment. The food is so abundant because your intelligence goes up, your visual acuity goes up, your awareness goes up, because you become the perfect primal machine you're designed to be. That's why I don't fear not having food, ever. It's everywhere. For those of you in the city, you have an abundance of a great resource called the cockroach. Everywhere, aren't they? Pigeons, rats. Even in the city, you've got an abundance of food. There's no need to fear not having food. You are designed perfect. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. The problem is modern society has drug us into a pit to forget it. So let's all try to get back to that and remember why we're beautifully and wonderfully made. And why the greatest people who've ever walked the earth all talked about fasting, right? And Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food, right? So I hope you're all doing well. I hope life is treating you good. And I hope that this video may have touched you in some way. If you don't like it, no big deal, but go out and do some homework. Don't take this old fool's word for anything. Go do some homework. Treat yourself to some magnificent knowledge. And I stand on the shoulders of giants when I was a little fool boot person in the Marine Corps who stumbled into this by accident and didn't even know what he was doing. So even a fool can find the way, right? And I am an example of that. I hope you're all doing well. I hope that life is blessing you in a multitude of ways. I know that I am having a good life today, and it is nice. And anyway, experience strength and hope to all of you. Be well, be blessed. Most of all, be healthy. Jim out.